Well, good morning, Northlake. I just want to encourage you briefly this morning, again, out of Exodus 34. We were there yesterday, but we're there again today because there's a lot here in Exodus 34. But this morning, as I was re-looking at Exodus 34, I was reminded of how when we commune with the Lord, that people take notice. Like the presence of God radiates from us. We see this in the life of Moses. Moses met with the Lord. When he came back off Mount Sinai in Exodus 34, it says that his face was lit up. It was shining. And so much so that the people of Israel were scared, and Moses put a veil over his face. Now, we know that Moses met with the Lord and that he had communion with the Lord. Beginning in Exodus 19, depending how you render this, about 8 times he went up to Mount Sinai to meet with the Lord. In addition to that, we see here in Exodus 34 that Moses met with the Lord in the tabernacle, in the place of meeting. And when he met with the Lord, he would come out to the people and his face would be shining. Spurgeon said it this way: the face of Moses shone because he had looked upon the face of God, that he had long looked upon the face of God, that he just looked upon the face of God, and when he left the presence of the Lord, people knew it. And that is true. When we have communion with the Lord, when we practice unhurried, unrushed time and sweet communion with the Lord, people take notice that we've been with Jesus. I'm reminded of Acts chapter 4, verse 13. Peter and John are arrested. They're standing before the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin, the religious leaders, are trying to figure out what to do with these men. And it is said about them that they took notice that they were unskilled, untrained men. However, they had been with Jesus. So you see that defining mark of Peter and John? They had been with Jesus. When we press into communion with the Lord, people know our life radiates goodness and love and peace and joy. There is no substitute to communion with the Lord. No substitute. All the power of the Christian life comes from being in the presence of God. All of it. And so let me just remind us, encourage us today to be in the presence of God. Be in the presence of God. Jesus needed to be in the presence of God. Andrew Murray said this about Jesus, that while others slept, Jesus went away to pray and to renew his strength in communion with his Father. He had need of this. Otherwise, he would not have been ready for the new day. The holy work of delivering souls demands constant renewal through fellowship with God. And so, church, I cannot encourage you more. I cannot admonish us more that the key to the life with Christ is abiding in Him. It's an amazing thing to know that the Creator of all, that the God of the universe, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, wants to meet with you. You have nothing else to do right now. You can't go to work. You can barely go to the store. But you know what you can do? You can go to a quiet place and meet with the Lord. Put this practice into your life. It will transform your life with Christ. We'll talk to you tomorrow.